I think I need to be Supergirl instead of
Supergirl. Oh my gosh. I have a car themed as Supergirl. I always been a Supergirl fan because her, like Superman, has a great origin story.
I disagree with you.
Of course you do.
She does not.
Of course you do.
She does not have a great storyline, her origin story, none of that.
I am a subscriber to Zoom 360 on the go.
Yay!
And I liked one of the videos.
Hey! Now get in the car. Hey everybody, this is Zoom 360 here on the go, and we are at day 2 of Geek Fest in Odessa, Texas. But today, it's not about the Geek Fest. Last night, as a car club, we went and checked out the new Superman, or James Gunn's Superman, and I think I'm gonna do a review of it. I usually don't review movies in this channel. I think I've only done 2 before this one, so it's not really something I do. But while we are here at the fest, I'm gonna do a review of the James Gunn Superman, and the 915 Batman will be joining me for this one. So let's do it. Here he is with the rest, well, most of it. What happened?
He was like, "Are you still tracking me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I track everyone except for Gloria and Oscar because they're the only ones that don't have iPhone." But on iPhone, I just find my friends, I get into his phone and I accept it, and so that's how I know where his location's at.
At my job, they track me.
They know you're here right now.
So, this is 915 Batman, and he's gonna be joining me on my review of James Gunn's Superman. Yeah, so let's do it, I guess. All right, let's find a place to sit. No, I mean, I could grab one of those chairs because there's no butts on them. I could put a butt on them. We got the Hero Society banner here. What a great location. So, this is random. We are at the Geek Fest at Odessa, Texas. This is random, right? So,
Did you lay this, baby?
So,
yeah, just put it out.
So while the Wonder Woman car is being moved around, before I start, I gotta give a disclaimer. I am a Zack Snyder fan of the DCU. All right, but I can be fair and watch a movie that is not Zack Snyder, and I am, and like, you know, going to it, I said to myself, I'm gonna clear my mind and give it a chance, like Batman 915 said, which he just walked through my shot. Which Batman 915 just said that he went in there with a clear head, right, to give it a fair shot. All right, so that's, and then one more disclaimer. Yes, I'm gonna compare it to Man of Steel because it's only normal, because when I watched the 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman, when the 1981 Superman 2 came out, it was normal for me to compare the two to see, did we move forward or regress? Same with Superman 3, Superman 4, Brendan Roth's Superman Returns, Man of Steel. When I watched Man of Steel, I actually compared it with Brendan Roth's Superman. So yes, I'm gonna do that. It's just it's a way to gauge have we gone forward or backwards. Sorry, and it's my opinion. If you want to go see it, by all means go see it. I'm not saying not to go see it, but this is my opinion. And the other thing is, I'm going to try to not be redundant. There are some things that I know that's been said already about this movie. I'm going to try to keep it where that I'm saying things that I haven't heard that I noticed. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's start with the characters. What did you think about Superman himself?
I don't know, a little bit overzealous. You know, the whole thing of I'm right, you're wrong type thing, where he wants to like fix the world his way because humans can't do it the right way. And I heard a while back, and it was like, you know, when he dresses up as Clark Kent, as his disguise as a human, the way he dresses up, the way he acts, is what he thinks the stereotypical human would be. So, you know, he pretty much sees humans as very low. That's what I think about the character. Now, for the movie...
Well, what I meant was him in the movie. This new Superman, what do you think about it?
It's a bit overzealous. I mean, the whole thing with the invasions, like, hey, you know, I'm going to stop everybody because that's what I'm going to do. Without having to regard to international laws. Just by even said himself, I represent myself, I don't represent anybody else. Okay, but still, even if you represent yourself as an individual person, you still got to follow other people's laws. So,
and that's all you got for Superman. Okay, fair enough. All right, so here's my take on the character of Superman in this James Gunn version. First, I hate that suit, especially I just hate the collar. Yeah, like, you know, people say that they don't like the red, like, you know, the red drawers or the red underwear. I don't even care about that much. I just hate the collar look. I never liked it, and it's baggy. It's not form-fitting like the Man of Steel suit. But it didn't bother me in the movie. I just knew that I didn't like it from the trailers. This Superman is over emotional. He's not stoic. He cries too much. He kind of whines. He's a little bit whiny. It's not what I expect from the Superman. And he's not respected. I mean, no one respects this guy. Even his own cousin called him the B word at the end. Yes, I just spoiled it for you. But you should have seen it by now if you were, because you're probably watching this video about 2 weeks since its release. So, shut up. What? I thought you already said your piece. What do you want?
Well, regarding the costume, the red drawers kind of looked like a giant diaper. Like it looked like a giant diaper. But since we're doing movie spoilers,
no,
like
well,
oh, you spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be out about like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I guess it's been 2 weeks. So since you're doing a movie spoiler 2 weeks later, I will say, like, the whole overzealous thing, you know, end up representing himself. How is it that he's over here breaking international laws, doing whatever he wants, but yet when he gets arrested, he wants the same rights as everybody else? It's like, if you don't belong to a particular country and you're representing yourself, why would you expect the same rights when you're breaking all the laws internationally? And even the guy that takes him in even says that. It's like we don't have any rights to give you because we can't do anything about it at this point. So,
see, whiny. It's just that he doesn't. I didn't get the or now. The actor, Corn Sweat, he actually, I think, can play a good Superman. It's just that he's an actor who's been hired to portray Superman a certain way, and he delivered what was just expected of him.
Just like George Clooney.
He can play a good Superman. Did you say George Clooney? Oh, stop it. He can play a good Superman if he really wanted to. He could play it on the level of Henry Cavill, stoic, strong, respect. It's just that that's what he was told to portray. Okay, so That's my take on Soup. I did not leave the theater wanting to be Superman or that Superman. He was just like, just like Zod said, this Superman is nothing of the sort. Lois. I have nothing to say about Lois. I guess she's like, you know, she's Lois. But how in the heck that Lois knows how to pilot Mr. Terrific's ship? She's a journalist, for crying out loud. It's a sophisticated ship. This is like the master of tech. You mean to tell me she just got in the ship and just started flying it?
You know the typical stereotypical woman, right? I mean, just kidding. No.
Oh, that's gonna make the vlog.
I know, right? So everything, the whole thing of on the record, off the record, on the record, off the record. See, that was the whole argument the entire time. It's like, oh, it's off the record. No, it's on the record. You gotta say off the record. And it's like, okay, but you're interviewing your boyfriend, so like you should know what to keep out and what not to keep out because of the conversations that you guys are having. And then at the end, when she walks out of the room, she's like, well, I knew this wasn't gonna work about relationships. And Clark's like, all right, I'm fine, you know, he's not gonna get into it anymore, he's tired. So he walks out, and then she turns around like expecting more. I'm like, come on, he's not a mind reader. I mean, at least that's not one of his superpowers, so that's no man's superpower. So if you wanted him to stay behind and at least try to fight it, say shit. He's like, women, if you're watching this, where you don't read minds, communicate.
Jimmy. What can I say about the character of Jimmy? He wasn't Jimmy. I wasn't aware that Jimmy was a pimp like that. He had macking skills like that. Like, Jimmy is a photographer. He's a little bit geeky. He's a little bit nerdy. You mean to tell me, like, the girls in the office were like you know, giggling like, you know, over him, and you know, and if you're gonna do that to the character, if you're gonna make him like a chick magnet, then no offense, okay? Just saying.
Get a better actor.
Hire an actor who's a hunk. No offense. He's an average Joe that we know for a fact that women today are not gonna go for and be googly like that. Like the girls like, oh my god, dude. And then Lex Luthor's girlfriend, who's dating the richest guy in Metropolis, if not the world, is head over heels, obsessive, psychopath, obsessed with Jimmy. That made sense to you, James Gunn? You and your team just said, you know what, that's Jimmy to you? He didn't take one picture in the movie, did he? He didn't take one picture. And she's feeding him intel on Luthor? Stop it. They've completely butchered Jimmy, the character. Completely, I don't even know what, you know what? What do you think?
Get a better actor. I mean, if you're really gonna be going that route and making him, you know, a chick magnet.
He's got stressed out, look at him.
Why that actor? He's like an average, he's like below average even. I mean, like, no offense to that guy.
No, look, we all can't be hunks.
The makeup that
we all can't be hunks.
Made him appear, he didn't seem, he wasn't a 10, he was like a 4 or 5. And yet they made him a chick magnet? Like,
yeah.
It didn't make sense. It just did not make sense.
It didn't make sense. Like, look, to be honest, on my best day, like 10, 20, 102 years ago, I was a 4. It's just it. We don't all get to be 10s. But this guy needs to tell me he's Jimmy, he's an average Joe, a 3 or a 4, and the girls are giggling over him.
Stop it. Get some help.
At the end, they all know. Jimmy, Harry, like, all of them, like, in that circle. They're like, how long have they been hooking up? And like, that gives you the intent. That gives you, like, you realize, like, oh, it's like they know that Clark is Superman. Like, how else? I mean, it's obvious at this point. So.
Next is Eve, and who is Eve?
The bimbo blondie. Like.
Yeah. So Eve, yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what she played in the movie. That's what James Gunn depicted her as. So get mad at him. So Eve, I don't even know why Eve was in this movie. Like, there's fights happening outside the building. She's taking look, I know that it's a Gen Z thing. She's obviously a Gen Z girl, but she was irritating to me. I couldn't stand to look at Eve when she met with Jimmy in the alley, and I was like, what the heck? And then, which was when that we found out how obsessive she was over him, and I was like, where is that going? Like, Eve was just, I couldn't care less about Eve. She was repulsive. I don't know why she was in the movie. She pissed me off. What about you?
So the way that I saw Eve, she comes off.
Look at this guy. He just crosses his leg like he's James Gunn. Look.
So she comes off as a bimbo, typical blondie, stereotypical blonde, very dumb.
Ooh,
always taking selfie. That's what she comes off.
You in trouble?
But I actually think she's a genius. Because think about it. How else did she know to send all those photos? It's like to everybody else, it's just selfies because that's the character she's trying to like show off, like she's like dumb. But she knew what she was doing. She was taking selfies of classified material and maps and all the data that's been needed to be used to take down Lex Luthor. So I think she was a genius. Like she knew what she was doing. She knew the character she was playing as, and she played everyone, including Lex Luthor and his guards. Because when they imprisoned her, he was like, oh, sending selfies to somebody else. Like why would you do that? And it's like, no, it's like she didn't just send selfies. She sent all the material needed to bring him down.
To be fair, I'm gonna give you the credit for that. Yes, I guess when you spin off that way, yes, I guess maybe it was the front. I still dislike her very much. Now, my take on Luthor is this. I think the actor played Luthor very well in terms of how smart he is, the way he spoke, his confidence, the way he moved, just the character itself outside of the plot. As a matter of fact, I think his Luthor, had he been in BVS, like his Luthor actually would have outperformed the Luthor played by Jesse. By Jesse Eisenberg. This fly is flying around. So I think that he would have been a much better Luthor in that movie. So he's the one I thought that I was going to like, because, and plus he has the look. He has a solid Lex Luthor look. So outside of the plot, I have no complaints about Luthor. What say you? Uh-oh. You're in trouble now.
I actually like the BVS Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg. I think he looked more of a Lex Luthor than this guy. What's the name of this guy? It's something Holt, no?
Who?
The name of this actor is Holt.
Holt?
Yeah, that's the name of the actor for Lex Luthor.
Yeah, something Holt. Holt.
Lex Luthor, he's basically it's like a powerless version of the megalomaniacal maniac from Deadpool vs. Wolverine. It's just her, but without superpowers.
Yeah,
He's conceited, high of himself. Even his monologue that he does at the end, like he's just very high of himself. He's very conceited, very.
Look at this guy. What are you looking at?
Very egoistic, very narcissistic. I mean, I guess that's what Lex Luthor is, right? But it almost felt like there was a little kid just pouting and throwing a tantrum most of the time.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's start with you this time. This guy got a Batman shirt with a lantern ring. Such a traitor. Still a traitor. What do you think about the Justice Gang? That's right.
The Justice Gang was funny. I mean, okay, I think they're no better than the Justice League or the Justice Society, because the way that I'm seeing it is they're murderers. Like they wouldn't. That's how they solve their problems. They just murder.
I'm trying to kill this fly. Watch this. About to die, motherfucker. Try to kill it. Finish it off. Appreciate it.
Nope.
Second time's a charm. Go ahead.
Well, that was the third time because you were the first time. He was the second time.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, yeah, they're pretty much murderers. That's how they solve all their issues. They murder the monster. They murder the general or president. And that's all they did. So, but they were funny. Mr. Terrific probably is the most logical of all of them, whereas Guy Gardner is like the most emotional. And of course, the one that threw me off was Hawk Girl, because
Tell me about it.
we have the whole alien thing going on with Superman, and they kind of talked about that. It wasn't a big emphasis, but they did talk about that. But yet, isn't Shariah Hall, Hawk Girl, isn't she an alien too?
I'm not familiar with Hawk Girl. Is she an alien?
She's an alien.
Yeah, okay.
So, because even in her storylines, if I remember correctly, she was sent to Earth to conquer Earth too. So it's like, why pick a side here? Like, you're pretty much the same thing. So
Okay. Justice Gang. First of all, Justice Gang ain't got nothing on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Nothing. Nothing. But Hawk Girl was just stupid. She did this scream during the movie. It was like, oh, it's cringe.
oh, the screeching, yeah.
And then there was a scene when she was trying to show that she's not like Superman and let a man drop from the sky. I just didn't she had no, that's another waste of space that's in the movie. The Green Lantern guy, I can't help it, but I can't take him seriously because he reminds me of Mo from the Three Stooges because of that doggone haircut. It's like they grabbed Mo and they gave him a Green Lantern ring and in a new outfit, and he's the Green Lantern. I just can't take him seriously for the same reason I can't take James Gunn seriously for a Superman movie with that hair. Now, Mr. Terrific, I actually liked him. Even though I hear that the way he sounds is not how he's supposed to sound, like a person from the 70s who's like, cool. But for someone who's not used to him or don't know him very well, I was introduced to him in this movie, and for me, I liked it very much. As a matter of fact, he's the only one from the Justice Gang, I think, that actually had a purpose in the movie. Like, he actually had something to do, and there was a very cool action scene that with both him and Lois in the movie that actually was great. It's just the way he talks, the way he moves, the way that he uses his gadgets. I think it's cool. And the part where that he was revealing his ship, which was played as if like it's a comedy skit, it actually worked for me. So that's all I had for the Justice Gang. I think Mr. Terrific is the only one that made sense to me, like why he was in the movie. Green Lantern, I just I can't take him seriously. He reminds me of Mo from the Stooges. I'm sorry. It is like, Hot Girl is like a whatever. Crypto, go.
Hey, what's up, Crypto? What is it? Crypto FK7 from SoCal. Follow him on Instagram.
That's the wrong Crypto.
Oh, wrong Crypto? Oh, right, we're talking about the movie.
Yeah, the Instagram should be showing up right about here.
So, Crypto's our president of our car club in SoCal, by the way. So anyways, Crypto Super Dog. I don't know, very unruly, very poorly trained. I guess it's revealed why at the end. But I like the dog, it was pretty cute. I mean, but it goes back to the whole thing of like, my point on the whole like super family stuff is repetitive, not done well, and pretty much like they have no discipline at all. And that is like my entire thing on like Supergirl, Superman, Crypto Superdog, in any of the universes. They just they lack that discipline. And that's like the main thing that I have on that. It shows it very clearly here is the dog is not disciplined. So
That's your only issue with Crypto.
yeah, no, I thought he was adorable. I thought it was pretty cute. And he acted like a dog, just, you know, superpowers.
Okay.
But I mean, I would throw this out there because my friend Nelson over here doesn't believe me. Supergirl is racist.
We are not going to get into that. However, Crypto, I'm not sure. Now, I'm not familiar with Crypto except to know that he's in the comics as the super dog. I don't know what the origin is. This movie, my problem with Crypto is that maybe Crypto should have been in a part 2 film, in a follow-up film from this film, because as a person who's not used to Crypto, he's just in the movie. He shows up and you don't know what the origin story is with that, how this dog got the powers, because the original story, we know that Superman was sent to Earth by his parents because Krypton was dying, and Kara was also sent to Earth from Krypton's, like, sister planet, which I believe is Argos, because Joel's brother, who is her father, also knew that Krypton's blast was going to annihilate that planet as well, so sent her to protect Clark. And there was no record of a dog. So who's Crypto? Where Crypto got it? Where did the dog got the power from? Who put the cape on it? Stuff like that. It's like suddenly bam. Now, just because it worked in the comics doesn't mean it works for movies. I think there are some scenes, like the scene where Superman calls for him and he's coming at him through the snow, that looked cool. But the annoyance of him, hitting Superman and him screaming, for example, which also plays into him not being a strong Superman, a well-respected Superman, like the part where that he's constantly like grabbing his cape and just being an annoyance, I think that was not appealing for somebody who's not used to Crypto like me. And also I think that they overused it, because that sometimes they showed it on screen and it was like they're overdoing it, like Crypto had too much screen time. I think it's like, yeah, it was not a hit with me. And I think they have the breed of Crypto wrong, because the type of dog that they pick for Crypto in the comics, it doesn't look like that. I'm just saying. Oh my lord. The kaiju, the kaiju, which I'm going to comment on with the plot and stories. The kaiju, again, like Crypto, for a normie who's not used to it, where did it came from? All of a sudden, two guys pull up. There's a cage that's in their vehicle. It's rattling like there's something in there that wants to come out. They let it out. It's a baby kaiju. It walked past something and it blows up and it disappears into the woods, and it seems like, it feels like, and I have to stress feel because that's the feeling I got from the movie, the very next scene Superman is fighting a full-blown kaiju. It looked like they just threw that fight in there for no reason. And then when the kaiju gets defeated, I'm not gonna say who does that, but it just lies into the city and it just dies. I mean, what happens after? It's like they threw in this kaiju for no apparent reason. There was nothing that's leading up to it. Like you would think something as big as a kaiju, you'd get some backstory on how it ended up in the back of the van. What was the plan? Like, how fast did it grow? Was it like overnight? Was it 2 weeks later? It's like they just threw a kaiju fight scene in there for no apparent reason. The kaiju did not belong in that movie, period. Sure.
I don't know. Too many of them. Like, you had that big monster, okay, you had one, good. But then another one in the background, like when all the main issues are going on with Superman, I mean, there's another one. It's supposed to be some sort of interdimensional being, but it just doesn't really match up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We're talking about the eyeball?
Yeah, they could have been fighting something else. I mean, why make it another kaiju?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in the storyline.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we got the Wonder Woman here, just like ruining the shot completely. Go ahead.
No, I thought it was pretty cool.
You like the kaiju?
Yeah.
Though it made no sense why they just throw something in there.
I just didn't like the way it ended.
Uh-huh.
You know, it goes back to my thing of the Disfigure gang. They're all murderers.
But don't you think that the kaiju was just thrown in there for no reason?
No, because you did kind of need to create a distraction so that way they could do what they were going to do.
Okay, where did it come from?
Yeah, no, they need to explain a little bit more, but careful.
Okay,
But-
not everybody knows extensively about that stuff like you. Most people don't. All right, fair enough. So the super robots were very James Gunny. They made no sense why they were there. I don't like them. I'm not used to them. This is the first time I've seen this robot number 12, number 2, number 4. They don't have any souls. They don't care. They're just here to help Superman out. I think that's a very Guardians of the Galaxy thing. And James Gunn just put that in there for no reason because he's James Gunn. I did not care for them. It's like ill, cringe. That's it. That's what I got for the robots. They're just stupid. What say you?
I actually like the robots.
Of course you did. Why?
They weren't CGI. They were actually built. They were animatronics built with all the programming needed to actually do every movement they did in the movie. So that is pretty cool. That's pretty neat. But it also gives you this sense of like the robots are learning to become better. Because at the end, it's like, you know, he wants a name. So I kind of like them. Reminds me of the whole Data thing from Star Trek.
I think I need to be Supergirl instead of
Supergirl. Oh my gosh. I have a car themed as Supergirl. I've always been a Supergirl fan because her, like Superman, has a great origin story. I'm dying for a Supergirl film, even though I know that Hollywood today will completely screw it up because they can't help themselves. But I was disappointed in the cameo she had in the movie because she was so disrespectful. The way that this is not just a regular girl. This is Supergirl. Everything about her is super. There's nothing super about you showing up drunk, trying to collect your dog, and you're acting like a basic wasted 304 on Saturday night. That's how that she came out. She came across to me. I was very upset about that because it's not just a girl, it's the super girl. And on top of that, as she walked away, she called Superman the B word, her cousin. They've always had good rapport, at least not enough, not like they've always had a good rapport. And when they would fight, it's never gotten this bad. And it's like, it's such a poor reflection on the character of Supergirl. I hated what that James Gunn did with that character, which once again, James Gunn being James Gunn. Thanks, man. Thanks.
I disagree with you.
Of course you do.
She does not.
Of course you do.
She does not have a great storyline or origin story, none of that. All they did was copy and paste. And that's what they do with all Kryptonians. Oh, you know, Superman was launched on a rocket. Okay, that was an original story. And then they create Supergirl. Oh, she was launched on a rocket. It's like, and then they create Zod. Oh, he was on a rocket. And it's like every single story that involves
He was in the
Kryptonian,
Phantom Zone.
They're all repeated stories. There's nothing original.
Zod was in the Phantom Zone.
Either way.
Supergirl's brother was father was Joel's brother. He knew. He was in Argos. They knew the blast from Krypton was going to destroy that world too. So yeah, they're both brothers, they're scientists. Of course they're gonna send their kids the same way to Earth. That's a great storyline. What is wrong with you?
It's not original anymore. All they're doing is repeating the same story over and over again. What's the point in calling him the son of Krypton, the last son of Krypton, when you have millions of other Kryptonians all over the universe with the same exact origin story? There's no point anymore. Not to mention that wasn't the only planet. That goes back to Daxam. Planet Daxam was also part of there and was also destroyed as part of the catastrophe. Those are the ones they're racist to. So Supergirl just turns into a Daxam, and so it's the whole thing of like, oh, all Daxams are alike, all Daxams are the same, labeling a stereotype.
Wonder Woman is now laughing at you.
Even with Daxam, the planet of Daxam.
She thinks you're out of your mind.
Even with the planet of Daxam, any leftover people from Daxam have the same exact story. They were put on a rocket and launched. So, yeah.
We all have our own opinion. This is why 915 is here, is because I knew that he wasn't going to see things my way and to keep things interesting. But if you notice, I'm not fighting with him physically because of his opinion. He's allowed to have them. Behave.
Well,
what else you want to say?
Well, anyways, in the movie, I do agree that she was portrayed pretty awfully with being drunk at the end of it. No, I agree with that. Like, that was pretty bad. I mean, she's going, like, where was she the entire movie? It's like, oh, she's on a different planet getting drunk. That's because apparently you can get drunk on a red sun planet, which didn't make sense, right? If you're on a red sun planet and you lose your powers, therefore you're able to get drunk and such. How do you have the powers to come back to Earth?
Great question. James Gunn, are you listening?
So,
Metamorpho gave me the ick. I don't know. I couldn't wait for his scene to be over, especially when he was going right as a flying head. But I don't have anything much to say about him. I didn't care for him being in the movie either. Him and his, I guess, son. Now, to be fair, I'm not very familiar with him, but it's just there were characters like Mr. Terrific. I don't know him outside of this movie, but I like his character. Now, with me being exposed to Metamorpho, I didn't care for him. That's all I got. That's all I got for Metamorpho. What do you got for Metamorpho?
Okay, so I know him from the cartoons only. I don't really know him outside of the cartoons in this movie.
Which cartoon?
I think it was the Justice League, the animated series.
Okay.
90s, early 2000s. I think it's Justice League Unlimited. Well, he looked color-wise pretty accurate. You know, the whole like orange, purple, like all the different colors on his body, and then he's able to like create different things. They were a little creative on, you know, how he was able to use his powers compared to previous iterations in the cartoons. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty cool, but giving him like spikes and stuff and making him look more rough compared to, like, you know, where he's a little more smooth on the skin in others, that's kind of weird. You look at him and like, oh, it's just another creature made by Lex Luthor, but no, they explain later on it's a Metacube. The whole thing with his son, I did not know he even had a son, but pretty good.
Cat Grant. I have nothing for Cat Grant. That's the blonde chick, you know, with the boobies. I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't care for her character. You?
I don't know. I've only seen her a few iterations. I think they could have done more with her. They only showed her a couple of times and mostly panicking. And the versions that I have seen, they're usually like, you know, powerful women type thing. So they could have done more.
Is there any other honorable mentions?
I'm trying to think.
Because that's
Perry,
all I got.
Perry, the
yeah.
editor. I mean, they're keeping to the same style of character since the past few movies of Perry.
Do you think that you know, Perry was a DEI?
I don't know. I feel like, you know, sure, it made sense to explain to him what was going on and how you're going to bring down Lex Luthor because he is their boss. But there was no reason for him to be going on the ship with them at the end and all traveling around in the same spaceship. They could have just evacuated with everybody else. I mean, so. Any other honorable mentions? Bradley Cooper.
Oh gosh almighty.
Oh,
I forgot about the parents, man.
I let you talk about the parents.
That's also mom was Lady Gaga. Like Lady Gaga.
I forgot about the parents. Bradley Cooper looked goofy as Drew. I'm sorry, he looked goofy, man. He was, you know, he was speaking Kryptonian, and I like the Kryptonian spoken in Man of Steel because the language seems stern. It seems like it made sense, but the language they were speaking for this movie as Kryptonian, they sound like the folks used to get stoned, like, you know, back in the 60s. That's what they sounded like. It's just like, oh, so goofy. And then Clark's parents, they made him like sound like country bumpkins, which is completely different from the previous parents. I think that so far the best parents I've seen on screen for Superman was from the Man of Steel, Diane Lane, and that dude that plays a lot of movies that I can't remember his name right now. Kevin Costner, Jor-El, and
oh no, I don't have much to say.
Okay,
that's why I pass it on to you. But my other honorable mention would have been Peacemaker, John Cena.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you only had a cameo.
A whole can of worms. Because you think about it, so John Cena came out in the first, the second Suicide Squad movie. Okay, but that Suicide Squad movie was tied to the original Snyderverse, right? Because it uses all the same characters, all the same villains, characters, and actors. And then they bring him into, you know, Peacemaker, its own TV series. And at the end, you have Aquaman and Flash, and so the same Zack Snyder actors and characters. And then you're trying to turn around and say, oh no, Peacemaker is going to transition into this one. So are they going to just retcon everything and start from scratch? Are they going to, like, the season 2 of Peacemaker is going to be like a completely different world and has nothing to do with season 1? I mean, the same thing with the other one was the what do you call it? Shazam. Originally they were saying that he was going to transition too, but then the ending of Shazam still has Gal Gadot, who is also a Zack Snyder actor and character. So how are they transitioning any of those characters over? It's just going to be this entire transition is just going to be a cluster fudge. Like,
you don't say. Oh, wait till we get to the story.
Oh yeah,
you don't say.
This entire James Gunn transition will not work out. Because instead of starting everything from scratch and starting from zero, they're like, oh, I'm gonna keep this one, I'm gonna keep that one, I'm gonna keep this one, and then reset the other ones. And you're like, okay, how are you gonna do that? Because even if you watch the Flash movie where it resets everything, it still wouldn't explain a lot of the continuity errors. There's just too much. At this point, might as well just say Zack Snyder is canon, and then, you know, this is all weird. It's just extra Elseworlds, basically. It just doesn't make sense to do all this stuff.
Plot, story, questions. Go.
I like the story. The story was pretty good for what they wanted. Plot-wise and how they actually pieced it together, not so well. There was a lot of blotchiness. Like they just, I'm gonna film this part, and then I'm gonna film this part, and then I'm just gonna put just cut it into the next scene without putting in your actual transition. So the story would have been good if it was done right. It just really wasn't. What was the other one? You said plot, story, and
questions.
Questions. I already had all my questions earlier with the whole Peacemaker.
Yeah,
like,
gotcha.
How are you really going to blend this movie into a new world if you're bringing in, things from the other world? It's not going to make sense.
Well, I disagree with 915 Batman because here's my thing. This is supposed to be movie 1 of the DCU, a new universe. It looks like we are thrown into the thick of it. This movie gave me a feeling, I have to stress feeling, of it being maybe the second movie or third movie in a trilogy, because you open up after Superman loses a fight. Now, Man of Steel, I like how they've done it. Man of Steel, it wasn't really kind of like an origin story, though it had an origin, or though they added some origin elements in it, which makes perfect sense for the beginning of the DCEU. Because remember, key is beginning. You have to approach the character in a way where, hey, people we are starting off with this, and this movie does not do that. One more reason why it doesn't do that is this: there is a lot in this movie. A lot is happening. a lot of extra stuff. It's not a linear movie. You're all over the place. You got the Justice Gang doing crap. You got this I know kaiju was just put in there for no reason. There's so many things happening in the background. There's a scene where Superman speaks with Lois and there's a big eyeball that's out there floating, and the Justice League is fighting it. Not League, but gang. It's just too much in the story. I did not like the story because it was not a beginning story of the DCU. Simple. It just wasn't. Plus my question again is like, this whole thing with the kaiju, I did not understand it.
Agree with you.
Like
saying that it's the first movie. It's not the first movie.
It's the first movie of the DCU. Okay, what's the first movie of DCU?
James Gunn had said that Blue Beetle was going to be the first movie.
Was, but it's not.
When Blue Beetle came out, that one, as bad as I think Blue Beetle was, it wasn't connected to all the other old stuff. So it kind of transitions well.
That's not what that's not what the Superman was marketed as. James Gunn even said it. The beginning of the DCU is this Superman.
It doesn't make sense.
He messed up.
Again, you're bringing in characters from the other stuff. It's no longer the first one.
Talk to James Gunn.
No longer the beginning.
That's not what James Gunn said. I'm just saying what James Gunn said. James Gunn marketed this movie as the beginning of the DCU.
Then scrap Peacemaker.
Well, no, he's not, because he's insane. See what I'm saying? Is like even Batman 1915 Batman is confused.
James Gunn, if he wants to claim the Superman movie as the first movie and the beginning of the next DC universe,
yeah,
it makes no sense to bring in stuff, characters, and storylines from the Zack Snyder portion. Well, he did the same thing for Blue Beetle. He said, oh, Blue Beetle is going to be the first installment of the next DCU. And then when it flopped, he turned around